So we have always been our own nation within a nation. Okay, Black America has always been Black America, and it's the fault of just not knowing your own history is where many Black Americans make the mistake. And when I say that, like, you can go back and look at let's go to Tulsa. Let's go to Black Wall Street, right? You have the main founder of it, Ottawa, Aunt Gurley, and um no, let's put it like this. Okay, there's something called venture capital. You don't have to have, like, back in the day, there weren't Black people couldn't depend on banks and financial institutions, okay, unless they owned it. Okay. Um they couldn't depend on that. But they still had, right? And that's because, and they could still build blocks and own blocks and blocks of things, right? And that's because um, they supported each other financially. The money stayed within the community um, a lot longer, okay? And that's basically all you need is your money to stay in your community a lot longer. Everything else is, you don't have to have, okay, I'm going to make this organization and I'm going to make this, because as you can see today, they attack our organizations. Oh no, this black only organization. You don't even need it. You don't even need it. You don't have to go necessarily to a bank either. Um there are people within Black America that can give us venture capital. All you gotta do is sign a contract. That's how it was done in the past. And we have the largest institution in Black America is the Black Church. As a matter of fact, the church in my city, a Black church in my city, um, they do things like that. So I think that what Black America, or the younger generations, are forgetting is that the legacy, the foundation for our legacy has already been set. It's up to us to protect it. And there are a lot of us, unfortunately, going around telling others not to vote, falling for this hype not to vote. You're going to destroy your legacy. You're ending your own legacy. You're tearing it down when you don't vote. Because when you know history, that's one of the major parts of the foundation of our legacy is politics. Being in politics. That's the only way you can protect yourself, is if you're in politics. Okay, the power is in politics. So number one, you got to have enough people in politics, and you got to have enough people on your side in politics, right? So not voting, you're just making it harder, and you're losing um your legacy. I hear people talking about generational wealth a lot, and I think they just say it now. Um, and maybe it's just me, because when I look back at my ancestors, because I write Black history on blackentrepreneur.history.com, and they did not have to go um, to a bank. What I think what Black America forgot is that we need to support each other. Our money needs to be with us. Put it like this, and I'm gonna try to say it like this. Um, let's say, for instance, I got the big dollars, right? Let's say enough people supported me and I got the big dollars, right? So guess what? Now, when someone needs to go open a barber shop, or when someone needs to open whatever, they come to me, right? And I supply the venture capital. And then the Black community then goes and supports that barbershop or that business, whatever that business is, right? And that business grows. exponentially, right? Then that person does the same thing. Then there'll be more people to go to for venture capital, or we can go buy this building and put the black businesses in in this building, and as they thrive, then they can turn around and provide the venture capital for others. Ain't no bank, and that's what our ancestors did. But they couldn't go to a white institution and say, okay, can you give us this? Can you provide us with this loan? You get turned down. What the flip? Now, in some areas that would happen. Depends on the state, but in the South, that was mighty difficult, and it depends on what time period we're talking about. But um, the foundation of it all, and of course, you may have had some like for instance with Tuskegee University, you had a Jewish man. I forget his name, but they have a plaque up. He provided a lot of funding. He didn't want his name to be known, 'cause back in them days. But he provided a lot of funding um, in support of Tuskegee, and you have different people who will support a cause or whatever, but the foundational people, um, the ones who made it, the ones who have the wealth, they then spread the wealth by saying, okay, I'm gonna provide. Look at what venture capital is. Okay, so they're gonna provide the money, and they didn't need to have some big organization to do it. Some organization will say, okay, well, you're like they're attacking that black women company who wanted to provide funding for black businesses. When you're doing this just for black people, you don't need all that then. Bump all that. If that's how it's gonna be. I just got the money, and nobody can tell you you can't help somebody, or you can't provide money for someone's business. There's a way around everything, and that's just simple mathematics. It's simple how you do it. And that's how we did it back in the day. But we can't the foundation and our legacy is already in stone. We just have to protect it, and protecting it requires knowing history and knowing what we have to do. And a lot of people ignore history. And so it makes it easy for someone to fake a profile and radicalize you in some weird way and tell you to abandon your legacy. And then when you turn around, you're blaming somebody else when you should be blaming yourself. Um, much of Black America tends to fight for other people's legacy or legacies, and they fail to understand the legacy that they need to protect first. Their own, our own.